The United States was founded on stolen indigenous land, boss. The 4th of July. Hey, let's commit to returning it. To who? Yeah, boss. Well, that's a rabbit hole that they're afraid to go down. But hey, shout out to Ben and Jerry's, man. Look, I don't know if they mean to look after our interests. I'm not saying all that, but all we saying is that this is a common message. Whoever owns Ben and Jerry's is not this ain't the point. I'm not trying to make them the good guy, man. You like Ben and Jerry's? Eat your Ben and Jerry's, man. I don't know, man. Just try to lay off the dairy. They got some vegan options, right? They got some vegan options, man. But shout out to the narrative penetrating those that just are at least caught in the spell of the 4th of July, celebrate the invasion, celebrate the invader. And here comes old Ben and Jerry's like, hey, man, you want to celebrate being on stolen land, stolen indigenous land, man? How about we think about returning it? Now, who we return it to is up to us, Whoever gets this thing returned. But let's just give it back to somebody. And when you talk about giving stuff back, like I said before, the hijack don't got no return policy. They don't give stuff back. In your recordation, has a nation of hijacks ever repented and started being good and started giving stuff back and giving back to land? No, my naga. No, my naga. So let's not live in a fairy tale fantasy world now. Okay? Let's keep it true. The only way we get it back, man, is basically the same way they took it. Except, we're talking about dracons. We're talking about dragon flame. You know what I mean? Dragon fire. We're talking about dragon fire. And they know that. They know that's coming. Yeah, man. So Ben and Jerry's is popping off. They're getting boycotted now by Hijack City. Hijack City is always active. Shout out to the family. To man, I can't say, I always mess your name up, but Two Tick, you know who you are, my bro. I appreciate you, Two Tick, man. My bad, man. But hey, man, to my man Tick, man. All right. And yeah, man. So Hijack City's gonna boycott them because they talking about giving back the stolen land. That reminds me of a letter. Man, shout out my bro on IG, Chief Arrow, man. The cons is popping off on all platforms. You popping off, man. You on TikTok, you on whatever you on, they still got Clubhouse. You on Clubhouse? Even the cons in Clubhouse, I think, popping. I don't know, man. Ty Battle, you let me know. You let me know, man. I'm over here with y'all. It's my last stand on social media. And then we're going to be exclusive at 432thedrop.com. And AHOB, to all our supporters, all our Dragon sponsors right here, we can't give you enough AHOB as we continue to drop this drop. And Drop Nation, y'all continue to drop this drop, man. And I'm just grateful, man, to have, a place and a spot, man, you know what I'm saying, that we can get cozy at. And, for all the cons, man, that have participated and contributed and got, just really expanded the living room, so we can get life, man, you know what I'm saying? So we can have room to live, man. We just talking about getting our land back, man. So, hey, the water to y'all, man. Hey, look, man, shout out Chief Arrow for dropping this, a letter, I guess, from, originally, Mr. Tupac. I don't know if it was that Tupac. I don't know which Pac, but somebody named Mr. Tupac Enrique. I don't know a lot about it. Something about the Anasazi flow. All right, so he got some drop, and he's writing to the papacy. He's writing to Pope John II, and he gets this particular response by not the Pope himself, but by some jabroni that the Pope said, hey, man, just write him back. And he's Bishop such and such. We're going to read it right here, man. But it's an interesting letter. It's kind of small. I'm going to read it. Let's go. Let me see if I can get it. There we go. There we go. Hey, for my Nagas in the back. Hey, out to my Naga in the back of the class. All right, so dear Mr. Enrique, your letter to His Holiness Pope John II was referred by the Vatican Secretary of State to our Bishop Thomas J. O'Brien, and he asked me to respond on his behalf. Dang, so not only did the Pope not respond to this Mr. Tupac, it was referred to the Secretary of State, or by the Secretary. So Pope Johnny gave it to the Secretary of State, the Vatican Secretary of State, because they got their own country, right? He's the king and the priest. This Pope is the prester in Hijack City. In Hijack City, every kingdom got to get, got to bow down, to the papacy, right? To the Vatican, which is the house of the Khan, or the Ba'at to Khan. Ba'at, since the B's are V's. Uh-oh. So the house of the Khan now is the Vatican, right? And they got a pope that used to be the prester. He's the priest and the king, because the prester is the priest. He's the priest and the king. Prester John, the priest, is the prester, and the John is the king, and he's Pope John, right? He's Pope John. He's Prester John Paul, right? Okay, got it. Yeah. Paul with the, he's supposed to be a big thing in their testament, in their testimony, right? Okay. All right, so their Prester John, or Pope John, right, refers this letter to the Vatican Secretary of State, who kicks it down to the Bishop Thomas, and he kicks it to whoever's, responding here, Reverend James E. McFadden. All right, he kicks it to the Chancellor. This is how much he cared, this Pope John, this their Prester John, right? Okay. And it's only 2 paragraphs. The Chancellor says, all right, I'll do something with it. Look, man, and I want to read the original letter from Tupac, man, because, this is a complete blow off. He says, we all appreciate the fact that Europeans came to America and conquered the Native Americans. We appreciate the fact. I mean, just that. I ain't even gotten through a whole sentence yet, right? We all appreciate the fact. This is Hijack City. You got to get in the mind of a hijack to digest this stale ass meat they want you to eat, man, right? So we all appreciate the fact that Europeans came to America. That's a whole subject of its own, right? And conquer the Native Americans. Not even like, genocided and mutilated and cut, tortured, and you know what I mean? They look at it as conquering. And he's telling the truth. He does appreciate the fact that America was conquered. So that, well, we're going to keep reading, But of course, it's gonna go back to their JC. Right? It's going to go back to, because now Jesus Christ can be preached to these savages. Right? That's pretty much how they look when you're in the mind of a hijack who is conquering or invading. We're going to get back to Baskin. I'm about to say Baskin Robbins. We're going to get back to Ben and Jerry's. All right, but I just need you to see both sides of this coin, and they're both relative, you know what I'm saying, to Hijack City. This is not even 2 sides of the coin. This is really the same side of the same coin. We all appreciate the fact that Europeans came to America, conquered the Naga, right? And took the land for their own, right? This is what a conqueror, it's how a conqueror talks, right? From the papacy, right? This has been the history of the human race. Whoa. Slow down. You just gonna blot out all this genocide and mutilation, all this vanquishing, all this destruction to our people, torment to our people, and say, yeah, that seems to be the history of the human race. You take no accountability for the papal bull Dum Diversus 1452. I'm not even I'm not even gonna read it. Like, I'm just gonna bring it up so you can have an access point to the Doom Diverses, right? And Ahab to the Lex, man, you know what I'm saying, for kicking this, man, years ago. All right. But it was issued by Pope Nicholas V, right? June 1452. Now we are reading a letter dated when? 1984. This is 1452. 500 years prior. That gives, weighing all singular the premises with due meditation. They are meditating on your downfall, my Nagi. Noting that since we have formerly by other letters of ours granted among other things free and ample faculty to King Alfonso to invade, what? Conquer, right? Didn't it say conquer in the letter? We know that they conquered. What does it say? What did the representative Pope John Paul say? Oh, we all appreciate the fact that Europeans came to America and conquered the Native Americans. Yeah, you gave them permission. What? Pope Nicholas V issued the papal bull, Dum Diversus, authorizing, right, its permission to reduce all these Nagas, Saracens, again, sons of Saracens. This is a Saracen. This is a Naga. These are the lost tribes of Israel, my Naga. Right? A Saracen. A Naga. To reduce all Nagas and unbelievers, pagans, whatever they want to call it, savages. We're talking Native Americans. Remember, we're talking Native Americans. To slavery, right? Perpetual, forever. This facilitated the Portuguese slave trade from the West, yada yada. So you know what's happening. They're going to Native America, non-Christian peoples, bringing Jesus, right? They are invading, searching out, capturing a Naga, vanquishing a Naga, subduing all Saracens, my Naga. My Naga. I'm just talking about Israel, boss. They're subduing, vanquishing, capturing, invading, taking our kingdoms, our dukedoms, principal. You know, they're taking our every possession, movable, immovable, all the goods, everything we possess. They are reducing us to perpetual slavery. And all you have to say, Managa, they are applying and appropriating to themselves and their successors the kingdoms, the dukedoms, counties, principalities, dominions, possessions, and goods, and converting them to his or their use and profit. I know I said I wasn't going to read this, but y'all know Drop get fired up every time, man. And having secured the said faculty, the said King Alfonso, or by his authority, this is authority given by the papacy. How can you not have any accountability for the slavery, for the invasion, for what happened right here on American soil? Because we're talking about the Indies, the islands, justly, lawfully, right? Yeah. You illegally invade an entire world, and then you want to lay down the law and say that we are rebels today and savages and we're breaking your laws when you came over here illegally according to HaWah's law. HaWah's law. killing and stealing, breaking the code. We already got the law. You didn't give us law. You stole our law. You've synchronized our law. Or you lawfully have acquired. You lawfully have possessed these islands, lands, harbors, and seas. And you keep them for your successors. In the 1828 Noah Webster Dictionary definition of an American, it says copper colored races found here by the European, but now applied to the descendants of the Europeans. Now they take the title of the Khan. They take the title American, and it's being given to their descendants, right? Successors. How long, boss? How long shall we endure? What's it say in second address, man? Shout out Dizzle Fitty. How long shall we endure this slavery? Perpetually, for real, forever? Drop just popping off for no reason? We should be okay with perpetual slavery, boss? We should raise our children in perpetual slavery? We raise our children like this, they ain't gonna have a chance, man. They coming with robot dogs, my nigga. Robot dogs. They gotta keep the code. We gotta raise the frequency. We need dragons flying. We need HaWah popping off. HaWah leads us in any war, any battle, any confrontation. HaWah leads us, my nigga. This is not a fairy tale. This is energy, frequency, and vibration. And they breaking the code because we broke the code. You keep the code. You the head and not the tail. What does it say in Deuteronomy chapter 28? They want perpetual slavery. You don't want to apologize for invading the enemies of your anointed, because Christ just means anointed in the Greek. The enemies of your anointed are the enemies of Zeus. Zeus, you bring us Jesus, Jesus. You hide Zeus by creating the letter J. But in Spanish, it's just Jesus, Jesus. Oh, we got you. We see you clearly. You tried to rebrand Zeus, bring it on the indigenous Americans, Sarah's sons of Sarah and Abraham, tribes of Israel, the Naga, that has a code. They rock with Amah. Because if you want to talk as a conqueror, wisdom is the conqueror of fortune, my Naga. You need Amah. What did Solomon say in Proverbs chapter 4? You need Amah. What? Yeah, man, we know what Deuteronomy hitting for. We're talking about being the head, boss. What does it say? Deuteronomy 28, chapter 13, or excuse me, verse 13. And HaWah will make you the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, my nigga, and thou shalt not be beneath, man. You the head and not the tail, if you shall hearken unto the commandments. Exodus 20 got us in code. Body bag for the illusion. Observe, my nigga. Witness the frequency when you keep the code. Take the keep the code challenge. Take the keep the code challenge. Start keeping the code with you and your fam and see what happens. Yeah, you're going to be tested to see if you sincere about it. If you doing it for vanity, it ain't going to work out for you. If you doing it truly for HaWah, as a child of HaWah, in the frequency of HaWah, you're going to fly. You're going to be above. You're going to be the head and not the tail. We going to fly together. We going to unify. Bloods and Crips, GDB, we going to unify as one tribe, as one flock, my nigga. We need unity. We know it, man. We all know it. In the streets, in the jails, and my nigga, we all know we need unity. We all need to be together. But we got to be in code together. This frequency is a unifying frequency, 432. unifies. The nine code, the nine spiral is you. You are the nine spiral, my nigga. You are the spiral. You choose up, you spiral up. You choose down, you spiral down. Hit the easy button, Brad. It's that simple. No cap on my number 2 pencil. Choose up so you can be the head. So you could be above only. What did Solomon say? What did what did Solomon the Khan, Suleiman say? Proverbs chapter 4. Halal HaWah. Yeah, hear you, children, the instruction of a father, and attend to no understanding. Wait, ain't that mama? Last time that I checked, Proverbs chapter 8. Mama say she is understanding. Ain't mama understanding? Does not wisdom call and understanding put forth her voice? Mama's yelling out in the coming in of the doors, my night. Receive my instruction, right? For wisdom is better than rubies. You know, we've surfed the wave. This is always one of my favorite frequencies, man, to hear mama speak her words, man. You know what I'm saying? She was set up from the beginning. But no, they want to put JC as the pillar of the beginning and the right hand to the he's on the right hand of the father. Mama's on the right hand of the father. Are you crazy? She's from the beginning. She's the first of his works of old, the beginning of his way, my nigga. Understanding put forth her voice. Attend to no understanding, so you know her. You know her. Who's her? Wisdom is the conqueror of fortune, my nigga. Like Solomon said, you gotta know her. Ama. Just like you know Abba, you gotta know Ama. Christianity separated, your mother out of things. They just call her wisdom, tuck her away, and now she's just wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Now they got JC as some superstar that's there from the beginning. He's in the flesh and all this stuff. You gotta go through him. Baba said you gotta you better check in at my door. You need understanding, don't you? Get wisdom, get understanding. You need it, don't you? Get wisdom, right? The beginning of wisdom, get wisdom. Yeah, with all thy getting, get understanding. Her voice. Oh, you praising mama too much. Extol her. What does extol mean? To praise, my nugget. In your face, bone. This is framer, shaper flow. You forgot how to praise your mother. You forgot how to extol her. And she will exalt you, man. She will bring you to honor. What? She will bring you to honor. Sounds like the gods know what's going on. Wisdom is the conqueror of fortune. She will bring you to honor. I think we're talking the same talk. Lost tribes of Israel, who they want to call Sarah's sons. My naga. So you want to subdue all these children of Israel in America. You want to take these islands and lands, huh? You give authority, huh? You've authorized some stuff, huh? You've authorized the invasion, the capturing, and the vanquishing. But you don't want to have no accountability, Hijack City. You got the stones to write back, to have your secretary of secretary of secretaries write back to this Naga Tupac Enrique and say, we appreciate the fact that Europeans came to America and conquered the Native Americans and took the land for their own. This has been the history of the human race. What? Even though it may not be just or fair, you signed off on it, man. You, you did this. You authorized the invasion. This brother's writing you to say, yo, I mean, I want to see the letter, but I assume he's saying, what's up with this land? You took the land, how are you going to reverse it? How are you going to give us recompense? How are you going to make it right? They're saying, even though it's not just or fair. Really? You think? But here's their rationale. If we try to reverse the process, so whatever Tupac said had to do with reversing some things, all the English who are descendants of the Normans from France would have to go home. The Goths and the Visigoths who conquered Italy would have to go back to Norway and Sweden and northern Germany. Norway, Sweden, and northern Germany. So you want to relate this invasion, Papal Bull invasion, to the Goths and the Visigoths, to all these. And you know what's really convenient? Hijack City. It's really convenient that you just want to say get over it. And all these invasions you're talking about, Goths and Visigoths of Italy, uh, they got to go back to Norway, da 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 da. All these places are Nagas. Germany, Sweden, according to Benjamin Franklin, Observations of Mankind. All this is Nagas, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's just really interesting, you know what I'm saying, that you really want to compare it to some Naga stuff and say, don't be mad that we invading because y'all been invading, us, or y'all been rolling up, keeping power in Europe, and you know they want to connect it to the Moorish stuff, right? The Moorish Empire, right? And all that they say invasion of Italy and Spain, but we know that the indigenous Europeans are swarthy, and Benjamin Franklin said that. So we might have tribal wars, but you're gonna compare your invasion to our tribal war, or what's happening more or more? You pretty much saying, yeah, whatever, get over it. Invasions happen, shit happens. It's pretty much what he's saying. A fancy way of saying, hey, boss, shit happens, man. People get invaded. Get over it, or else everybody got to go home. Nah, man. This was not some accidental situation. This was not some happenstance. This happened with due meditation. You duly meditated on this invasion of these Nagas. And you've had your foot and been milking Israel. You've been milking the Hebrews for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. You've been vanquishing Hebrews and everybody else who's been getting collateral damages, not just Negroes, other groups have been getting collateral damage of this invasion. We got people that are a product of the invasion, you know what I'm saying? Subgroups of this and subgroups of that wouldn't even exist without this invasion. That's a fact. We got a lot going on. We ain't trying to single nobody out. We just trying to say they focused and targeted these Saracens, boss. These are Saracens. Tribes of Israel. And all this jabroni over here got to say is get over it. And we can't reverse nothing. Hey, invasions happen. If we tried to reverse the process, all the English who are descendants of the Normans from France would have to go home. Well, that means the English got to go home. Like, what are you saying? So what you're saying is we can't rely on you to make the right move, just like back to Egypt and let my people go and Moses and the Exodus, right? We can't rely on Pharaoh to let my people go. We can't rely on Hijack City to give back the land that they stole. Nah, they took movable and immovable goods. They took movable goods, they took immovable goods, they took all your possessions, they took all your dominions, Managa, they took your kingdoms, right? They took your royal kingdoms. The House of Andrews now they represent the House of Andrews, not you, right? Not they represent Rus. They represent Russia, right? They represent the Rus and the Russian now, right? Not us, right? Nah. These jabronis want us to get over it. And if we try to reverse, all the white people gotta leave Beverly Hills. Like all the English gotta leave Norman's, That just would be crazy for us to go back home. It's over. America's a melting pot now. There is no way to reverse the course of history. Wow. So convenient, Hijack City, that this invasion is irreversible. It's almost like you meditated on it with due meditation to put us in the irreversible or perpetual slavery. How convenient that it's irreversible when you've meditated on making it perpetual. Body bag. Ping, 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 pow, ping, pow, pew, pew. How convenient that is irreversible when you meditated on making it perpetual slavery, boss. And taking all our stuff and appropriating it to your uh, descendants, successors. Taking our kingdoms, dukedoms, counties, principalities, dominions, possessions, all our goods, converting them to your use and profit. Ain't that some shit? And I guess we should just get over it. Because there is no way to reverse the course of history. This is what the papacy is saying to Tupac in 1984. But the church is really concerned that Native Americans preserve their native culture. How can they preserve their native culture, boss, without their kingdom, dukedom, principality, dominions, all their land, possessions? How can they preserve their native culture without their movable goods? That's all your treasures. All just think about all your movable stuff that they can move, and the stuff they couldn't move still belongs to them. How can we preserve our culture when we gotta go to BLM land now? We gotta pay admission to get into Zion National Park now because our immovable goods and movable goods are held and possessed by you jabronis. And now we're reduced to irreversible. There's no way to reverse the course of history. But the church is really concerned that Native Americans preserve their native culture without our movable and immovable goods, my nigga. Have adequate jobs. You want us to work for you? Like perpetual slavery, my nigga? And preserve the faith? What faith? Oh, remember, you are enemies of Christ. But they want you to preserve the faith of Christ because you've been subdued. My Saracen, my Saracen Naga, my Saracen Naga, you've been subdued. Enemies of Christ. Wow, ain't that something? There's no way to reverse the course of history, but the church is really concerned that Native Americans preserve their native culture, have adequate jobs, and preserve the faith that was introduced to the Native Americans by Spaniards, French, Italians, and etc. with Beth, which I can't read. I can't read this. I can't read hijack. I can't read hijack. With best wishes. I am sincerely yours. No, we're yours, right? Because we're in perpetual slavery. James, Sir James, you've reduced us native Saracens, Nagas, to forever slavery. And you want us to preserve the faith that we are enemies of your Christ. But now our Hebrew brothers call their Christ Yahweh Jesus, Joshua, Yeshua, Yahweh. You got the wrong Joshua, boss. You gotta be rocking with the Joshua that led you to the promised land, that parted the waters for you and the tribe to cross on dry land, that stopped the sun in its tracks, made the sun stand still, made the moon stand still, stopped the waterfalls from falling. Yeah, man. The real Magi, the greater Magi, that Joshua, that's Quetzalcoatl. That's Quetzalcoatl, boss. Hey, it's all happening. You wanted to subdue us, Nagas, and introduce the Native Americans to the faith. And so you're really proud of the invasion because at the end of the day, this is how you justify it. This is why you don't have no accountability. And this is as evil as it gets. The God you serve, this is what it represents. The God you serve represents telling the people that you slaughtered in cold blood to get over it. Invasions just happen. Invasions just happen. It's irreversible. It's perpetual. We should just get some jobs and shut up and worship your Christ because you introduced it to us. You've invaded, searched out, vanquished, and captured. And you have no accountability because you brought us to your JC and you stole our kingdom. What kingdom, boss? What kingdom? The kingdom of Hasharah, the kingdom of Israel, the kingdom that two sticks are coming back together in Ezekiel 37 to hit the mark, to hit the towel once and for all. So, man, love to the Aki Chief Arrow. And yeah, man, Baskin Robbins, my bad, Ben and Jerry, boycott all this stuff. We know it's all smoke and mirrors. They all playing both sides. We know that. But the fact that they are even pushing this narrative, HaWah can use this frequency, saying, to wake a Naga up and remind them before they start popping off next year, celebrating their own invasion, their kingdoms being stolen right from under their feet. You want to keep celebrating your own vanquishing? Well, you go ahead, man. But every pop firecracker is your kingdom being lost, your dukedoms, principalities, all your stuff, your dominions being taken, your possessions, your goods. It's a representation of your forever slavery. Just remember that next 4th of July, my night. And the water to the Ak, to tick, man. We appreciate your frequency, man. A out to the cons. Stay up, suit up, choose up.